Hello students. Now the topic for discussion is programming techniques. 8085 programming techniques. These programming techniques are looping, counting and indexing. To implement a program in 8085 microprocessor, we need some programming techniques. The program is an implementation of certain logic by executing group of instructions. So to implement program logic, we need these programming techniques. So what is looping? This programming technique using 8085 is instructed to execute certain set of instructions repeatedly to perform a particular task number of times. Whenever we want to execute a set of instructions more than one time, we can use loop. So loop will allow to repeat a set of instructions many times. What is counting? This technique allows programmer to count how many times the instruction or set of instructions will be executed. So count basically it will work as a counter which counts the number of times a set of instructions will be executed. Indexing. This technique allows programmer to point or refer the data stored in sequential memory locations one by one. When we have a set of data stored in memory, so we need some mechanism to access, to point, to refer that data into memory. So we use index. Indexing technique will allow to point and refer the data stored in memory. We can understand these techniques with the help of example. So the problem statement is to add 10 bytes of data stored in memory locations starting at a given location and display the result. So the procedure will be followed, or a processor needs to perform addition of 10 bytes of data stored in memory. So first we need a counter to count 10 data bytes, an index or a memory pointer to locate where the data bytes are stored. To access those data bytes, we need an index. Some mechanism to transfer the data from memory location to microprocessor. Then actually perform the addition. We need some registers to store the partial answers or intermediate answers. We need a flag to indicate the completion of task, such as zero flag, which will help to check whether counter has reached to 0 or not. And we need something to store or output the result. So with this example, we can see then it needs programming techniques of looping, counting and indexing. Counting to count the number of data bytes as 10. Index to access the data stored in memory. And looping to perform the addition of more than one data items. So we have to perform this addition 10 times. We need some loop. So this example needs looping, counting and indexing. So basically the basic programming technique looping uses all the techniques, counting and indexing. Here looping, basically there are two types of loops. One is continuous loop, second is conditional loop. Continuous loop repeat task continuously without checking any condition. Conditional loops repeats a task until certain data conditions are met. So here we can see the flowchart of a continuous loop. Here start the process, perform the task, and after the task go back and repeat, then perform the task, go back and repeat, then perform the task, go back and repeat. No condition will be checked here. Once a loop has been started, it will continue. But in conditional loop, some conditions will be checked, and these instruction check flags such as 0, sign, and parity, etc. The continuous loop is implemented with the help of unconditional jump, but the conditional loop will be implemented with the help of conditional jump instructions. Normally, a loop has 4 sections. Initialization section. In this section, all the variables, counters, indexes, addresses will be initialized, will be provided some value. Processing section. In processing section, actual processing will be done or data manipulation will be done. Loop control section. Here the counter variables indexes will be updated for the next value of the loop. Result section will analyze or output the result. So we can understand the looping with the help of flowchart, the sections of loops with the help of flowchart. Start initialization section, then processing loop control section. Here the condition will be checked whether the loop has been finished or will continue. If it will continue, it will go back and repeat. If it is finished, then it will move to result section. This flowchart also depicts the same process. Start initialization loop control section, whether loop will continue or will be finished. If it will continue, it will go to processing section. Processing will be done and then will repeat. If the process here the loop will not continue, it will go to the result section. Now what is the difference between these two flowchart? It is as condition on entry section and condition on exit section. So as we have already studied in C programming language, do while loops and while loop, for loop. So this flowchart is similar to the do while loop functionality. Once at least one time processing will be done, then condition will be checked and it will repeat whether the condition is met or not. But here first the condition will be checked and then processing will be done or not according to the condition met. So we have already discussed initialization section will establishes the starting value of loop counters, address registers and other variables. In processing section, actual data manipulation will be done. Loop control section updates counter, indexes, pointers for the next value, and the result section analyzes and restores the results. So this is all about programming techniques. 8085 microprocessor uses these basic programming techniques to implement the program logic.